Welcome to the group chat. Here we'll cover politics, culture, and everything in between. Sometimes the conversations will be serious, and other times they'll be crazy, just like your group chat. So hit the button and join the conversation. All right. First things first, vibe check. What's got you feeling good these days? Because I know there's a lot going on. So, Anthony, tell me what's got you feeling good these days.
The start of football. I mean, NFL, college football. Because after the NBA playoffs, we have that gap. I mean, I like baseball, and of course, I love watching the WNBA, but it's nothing like getting to that football season from college to the NFL. So that's what got me feeling good, ready to watch these games. Even though I got to stream on every platform to catch the
Oh my
games, but
gosh.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that. That's what has me feeling good right now.
Oh, good, good. What about you, Jesse?
Really the same. I'm based in Dallas, but some kind of way I ended up an Eagles fan, and so the Eagles are coming back from a Super Bowl dominating performance, and so and the other great thing about it is it's like a tradition. Even though I'm an Eagles fan, it's a tradition being in Dallas to watch the Cowboys games and just laugh at them about the fact that they haven't been to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl in so many years. And what do? They drop a 8 part documentary about the '90s. So, like, I mean, it's the greatest. It's one of the greatest documentaries ever. I will have to say, but just the fact that they dropped it to even put more pressure on the current guys that they have, like just to show you this how it was back in the day that they haven't been able to, reach since. So it's a great documentary. I suggest everyone watch it. It even included, some of the other greats from other teams and things like that. But great documentary. So I'm super excited about that and to have football season start.
Football season is exciting. It does like signify like the change in seasons a little bit. And I think that's what I'm actually looking forward to is like I love the fall. And so I'm already starting to feel like the weather just changed just a little bit. The sun set just a little earlier and back to school, which, as much as I love having kids around, I am ready to have just like solid routine for everybody. All right, so we're going to, do a hard pivot over to the DC takeover. Let's talk about it. It's a takeover of Black-led cities, right? Or the discussion of taking over Black cities. So for those of you who don't know, last week Donald Trump flooded Washington D.C. with federal agents, the National Guard. There's been multiple red states have sent National Guardsmen to Washington D.C. over just the last few days. I think most recently it was like Louisiana, Tennessee, South Carolina, and a few others. And they're creating like traffic checkpoints. They're turning like everyday life into surveillance and intimidation. I mean, let's call it what it is. And this isn't primarily like Black neighborhoods and also in the immediate surroundings of the Capitol. And so what we're also hearing though is that like DC isn't the end game. It's been framed you know, very decisively by the president that it's Democratic cities. But when we take a closer look at those Democratic cities that he's saying also need some sort of additional force and takeover, it is cities led by Black mayors. So like Baltimore, Chicago, Oakland, LA, and New York. So there's obviously a lot of manufactured chaos that's taking place. And there's age old racist tropes that have been used in terms of like Black cities not being safe, secure, and we're also seeing stats that have been reported broadly of cities like DC seeing, crime down 30%, right? And then we're also seeing places like Baltimore with a significant decrease in crime through programs that the mayor has implemented by, giving youth and teens things to do. But, I think what we're seeing is a coordinated strategy not to just take over the Democratic cities, but it's a calculated push to wipe out Black political power. So we also saw that. taking place in tandem with what just went down in Texas in terms of the redistricting, redrawing the U.S. congressional maps to wipe out Black and brown representation. So I say all that to say, let's talk about it a little bit. How are we feeling in this moment about, um, the shifts? I actually, we started the whole conversation talking about like back to school changes, or not back to school, but the changes seasons. And actually, we think about DC, there are a lot of historical institutions there. And then obviously one of the most famous HBCUs in Howard being there. And it worries me to know that, Howard students are going back to school, going back to DC in this kind of chaos. And they're, having to feel like they're under surveillance. But I want to talk about it. I want to, Desi, you're down in Texas, so I'd love to get your perspective on, what's happening, not necessarily what's happening, but how you're feeling about the redistricting, but also just generally, like, is this a coordinated attack? What's happening?
I mean, yeah, it definitely feels like a coordinated attack when you talk about the redistricting here in Texas, and then also going to DC, right? We're talking about students going back to Howard and not feeling as comfortable, and then you also worry about like CBC. What are
Yeah,
people going to do when it comes time for that? And typically,
yep,
that's a time when a lot of the black people get together and it's very political. Of course, people have a good time, but there's a lot going on and there's a lot of synergy in the market. So if you're worried about being profiled or arrested or worse, then that's going to definitely affect how people travel to a city like that. And then when you think about the redistricting here in Texas, it's almost like they're trying to take the hope away. You know,
you're right.
during the Obama terms, hope was always one of the big things,
Absolutely.
right? And so when you start taking away people's hope, then that's when a lot of chaos will kind of ensue, and people start feeling bad, and and that's not what we need right now, especially as we get to start talking about midterm elections and things like that. We need momentum. We don't need people that feel hopeless. We need people that feel hopeful.
Absolutely. I think it's really about like disenfranchising Black voters and people of color, right? Like that's where they're going. There's just a stat I wanted to highlight because one of the frames that have has come out of DC has been very much about like, oh, it's all these youth, for instance, that are causing all this crime. And we know that there are multiple ways to address crime, right? So even if there is crime in a city, um, whether it's black, white, or otherwise, we know that a lot of that is caused by some of the key determinants of health, right? Do kids feel safe? Do they have shelter? Are they able to, are they experience homelessness, abuse, neglect? Are they, missing school? Are they able to, have a structured um, system around them? And so when we talk about, inspiring hope, it starts from the ground, right? It starts with taking care of the needs of the people first, and then addressing, what's going on. And so when we think about Texas, it's like let's, that hope piece gets flushed out because simply because they want to take away the political power, knowing that I think in Texas alone, isn't 60% of the state are people of color, and yet their representation is something like I believe it's like there's only about ten seats that are represented by people of color. So that's really really jarring. Anthony, I kind of wanted to get your take too about what's going on about the with the stripping of Black political power, but with a slightly different take. We can watch this clip here. We'll pop it up for a second, where Joshua Doss walks through, how uh, rappers have said what's happening systemically in neighborhoods, and people don't listen. So I actually want you, Anthony, though, after we play this clip, let's run down some, 5 times rap lyrics accurately depicted the needs of the community.
Hip hop has been screaming this at you for years. Because without this drug, that's once. We still trying to keep mom smiling when the teeth stop showing in the. That's twice. But you ain't hear it. My sneak start leaning and my heat stop working and my heat start working. I'ma rob me a person. Stop right there. Those are the economic determinants of crime. If my sneak start leaning and my heat stop working, then my heat start working, I'ma rob me a person. I just saved you a 20-minute read on a 10-year study about the economic determinants of crime from the World Economic Forum. That's the summary. Hip hop just summarized it in 14 seconds.
I mean, I can go to artists. I mean, it was, you can go all the way back to when hip hop started with the Sugar Hill Gang, with Rappers Delight, Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five with the Message, Curtis Blow, The Breaks. I mean, been sounding alarms, since the beginning, about what's going on in the community, why the community is what it is, because we don't have these resources, because drugs are in, because the economic issues, is why the community is what it is. So, I mean, hip hop has always painted the picture on what's going on in the community. You can know what's going on by listening to hip hop, all the way up. If you go through the '90s, I mean, you had NWA, you had Wu Tang with Cream. Jay-Z's always been a pillar on that. To the new guys, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. So we always been the voice of what's going on in our community, and that's what it is. It's not going to change. I mean, we are explaining and telling the people this is why it is. This is why crime. This is why, like Freeway. If the heat's not working, stomach's
Mhm.
growling, then I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to go out and do what I got to do, because it's no other way for me to make ends meet right now. And I think that's what it is. And I think until we can come in and bring these resources together, have activities and things for these kids to do. And that's what these cities have been doing with the black-led mayors, have been
exactly.
providing things for get them off the street, give them hope, like Desi said. And that's but just putting in, police and military is just for show. And all it's going to do is sit there is trying to provoke us to
Yep.
react. That's the thing, to react. So once we react, then the violence can really ensue on us, and now gives them a reason to do. See, they're out of control. So
Hmm.
that's what it is. And my hope is that we can continue to just stay resilient. Keep the course while we continue to fight. But just that they're trying to provoke us, because if it was all about violence and high crime, they'd be in St. Louis.
Oh,
They'd be in
right.
Memphis. They'd be
Hmm.
in Little Rock. But those are red states. So it's
Right.
not all about the crime. It's not about that, because those are if you look at the top 10 areas, they're mostly red states, red cities.
Yep. It's about fear and intimidation, and you're exactly right. If when you have Black political representation, they take care of the people and the issues in their community because they have an ear. They are elected by the people who could tell them what's going on. They have that positive discourse between, and so that's what we need. And the stripping away of that is to disenfranchise the community and also take away those opportunities to have that productive back and forth and
Right.
those advocates in the right place. So on a lighter but also maybe slightly dark side, we're gonna pivot just to the next piece of what's also going down, and some viral moments that have gone on in DC. So have you seen this video of the man who threw the sandwich at a federal agent? We'll watch it. It's funny because I mean you got this very, he's clearly intoxicated. He's, you know, just a regular guy frustrated with the fascism that's taking place in his neighborhood, and he hauls off and throws his Subway sandwich, which listen, do not throw good food at people who are not worthy. But hauls off, throws the sandwich, and we're now learning that he worked for the Department of Justice. So not only did he end up being arrested, but it's discovered he worked for the DOJ, and he has since been fired. And then Attorney General Bondi, uh, that lady, she says this. She's like, if you torch any law enforcement officer, we will come after you. I just learned that the defendant worked at the Department of Justice no longer. Not only is he fired, but he has been charged with a felony. This is an example of the deep state we have been up against for 7 months as we work to refocus DOJ. And she goes on to say more, but a felony, how do we feel about that?
I mean, again, it's another show of power. That's what it's all about. We can do whatever we want, but no resistance, no resistance. We don't have to have a probable cause. We don't have to explain who we are. We don't have to. It's what we do. Whatever. If you react in any way, we're coming down on your heart. I mean, that's what it's coming to. That's
Yeah,
what's happening right now. I mean, it's just clear as day. And it amazes me that people aren't paying attention to what's going on, because eventually it's coming to you. And I know a lot of the red states may think they're safe, but it's blue cities in those red states,
hmm
and those blue cities are going to be coming upon attack just like it's happening in other areas. Best believe that. So, guys, better people better start waking up and realize what's going on.
absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm also going to, again, we're trying to keep this a little lighthearted.
Mhm.
So, have you seen? I saw some of the comments on TikTok about this sandwich guy. Um, some of my favorites. He's my hero, um, which I thought was a good one. Assault with a deli weapon, and and assault with a Bradley weapon. So anyway, people are trying to make a heart, light of what's
Right.
going on in this crazy time. So I think that's what's it's gonna take, right? We all have to keep a little bit of levity,
Have to.
despite all the craziness.
One,
So
one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna always find humor in something, no matter what. No matter
absolutely,
what
we
we're going
should.
through, we're gonna find humor in something.
This guy
We
done
should.
lost his job and got a felony, and we making jokes.
We're making jokes talking about you my hero. Like, oof.
Right. Right.
All right. So Anthony, take us into historical erasure.
Right now, we're facing a big push to erase history, to whitewash history. I mean, it's starting now with the Smithsonian. I guess the new push is now to recreate the Smithsonian where it aligns with Trump's views. I guess not the country, not anything, but what Trump's views are, which is basically going to just take away true history and place what they want to have in there. Um, I think it's a push where they feel if we don't know what happened, or if we can't see it, then it didn't exist. You know, and it just kind of shows. I mean, it is what it is. It's just to take away, Black history, Black culture, take away, us knowing where we come from, and also, if you take away history, history can repeat itself. So that's what's currently going on, as well as the push to replace PBS with what is it, Prager U,
Oh God.
which is a right wing network where their first animated cartoon is Christopher Columbus talking about how slavery wasn't that bad. A lot of people were enslaved. It wasn't really that bad. So it's just, I mean, this is happening in real time right now.
Absolutely. It's kind of rough. And then I think there's also like I did you all see that clip of Jillian Michaels, who, for
Yeah.
you all that don't know, she was like the fitness coach on The Biggest Loser. So right,
Right.
like that's her space. Her space is fitness, wellness,
Mhm.
whatever. But she was on Abby Phillip, um, her show on CNN, saying, oh, only 2% of people, own slaves, and the both both Nicole Hannah Jones, the author or creator of the 1619 Project, and Abby Phillips responded. They're like, well, okay, sure. Right now, there's all the wealth right now in this country is consolidated with less than 1% of the people, and that still has massive impacts on every institution that that we have, and they were able to, walk folks through it. If you haven't seen it, actually, I encourage you, if you go to underscore the Village Media, we posted a few videos where folks can watch both Abby's response and Nicole Hannah Jones' response. But it essentially threads like, you can't forget these things for multiple reasons because it actually impacts everything that has happened up until today. All the structures, the systems, all of the laws that are in place, and even what we're seeing today, right? If we go a little bit back to voting and political representation, the Voting Rights Act was probably the most foundational, most key, the biggest, what I want to say, the biggest piece of legislation that has come through in the last 60 years to truly provide equal rights, right? And keep states that were trying to suppress the vote of people of color, Black people in particular, um, keep those people from being represented in Congress, from people from voting into their elected leaders and being able to make decisions related to this country. And we are seeing, just in 2013 with Shelby versus Holder, where that was stripped away, right? We're gutted because that's where gerrymandering became something that was allowed.
Hmm.
Um, and so, this whole threading of history, it is important. It
Right.
is absolutely important. Desi, I wanted to get your take too, like on what's going on with this, everything that Trump is saying about slavery is bad, and why are we talking about slavery being so bad, and just history in general.
Yeah, another crazy thing that they're doing right now is they're trying to get these Confederate statues put back up, and saying that, oh no, we want them back up, but but we don't want uh, any other statues of like a Harriet Tubman or somebody like that. So it's very inconsistent, and obviously you understand what side they're on when they're saying, okay, let's get some of these Confederate statues back up, but let's not get any statues for anyone of color or anything like that. So it's very disappointing, and of course, being in Texas, in the South, they're definitely looking to put a lot of those statues back up and put the names back on buildings and things like that they had actually taken down. So.
Absolutely. And so recently, I actually there's a group of organizers that I was connected with who have a petition that's going out to try to save the Black Smithsonian, essentially, so the National Museum of African American History and Culture. For those of you who don't know, and so their website is America's History sos.org. And so there is a petition that they have out there. They're trying to get as many folks to sign to bring awareness to what's going on. Because again, there are some, if I don't know if any of y'all have been to the National Museum of
Yeah.
African American, there's incredible artifacts in there,
Hmm.
right? There's incredible artifacts that tell the story of our history in this country. And what is really beautiful about it, Trump tries to say, oh, all they talk about is why slavery is so bad. Well, if you've ever been there, it starts at the bottom. At the very bottom floor, it starts with slavery, and then you rise up through the resilience and the stories of the beautiful stories of Black people in America and what that journey has looked like for the last 400 plus years. And so,
Right.
if you haven't been, run to get there now before they start taking stuff out. One of the most powerful places I've ever been.
Right.
All right, so we're going to let's talk sports. What's going on with streaming? Tell us.
Well, as I go on and look and see, where I can watch my games from the NFL to the start of the NBA season, I mean, it's basically you gotta subscribe to every streaming site to catch the games, and also NFL, NBA ticket. So I mean, they're definitely expanding from Peacock to Prime, Netflix in the mix. Was it? Oh, I'm messing up. Basically, every app you need to be
Literally every app.
subscribed to watch these games. I mean, I'm
How,
subscribed to all of them. Trust me. So, but I mean, I'm like, wow. So it's a lot just to catch your games this
I
season.
know. So how do you feel about that? Like, because I feel like the joy of watching the game just on like network television was just like you could just turn it on. You kind of have a set time, and then it just makes it more accessible. But like, what is that? How's it making y'all feel about
Yeah,
catching your
you
teams?
Yeah, you had two channels back in the day. And like it was I think Fox and CBS. Fox probably had the NFC game. CBS had the AFC game. Super simple. You would go catch maybe one game early. I'm on Central Time, so it would always be, one 12 o'clock game and probably two 3 o'clock games. But now you really have no idea what channel, what time these games are coming on. I know a lot of people are just looking for the free crack link, saying that that's how they go watch all the games. Forget getting all these different streaming services and cable and everything like that. They just go find the link and call it a day.
Oh,
Well, with
absolutely.
me, I mean, I keep all the streaming sites. I don't know. I have sites that I don't even know. It's just my quirk. I don't know why I do that because some of them I don't even watch. But I mean, hey, the more access I have, the more games I can watch, the better for me. So I'm on the other side of that. I want to see more, but it is kind of nerve wracking that you got to go through so many things to watch it. But I enjoy seeing more games, but it does suck for those who might not have those streaming sites because they don't watch anything else. But now got to get it just to watch football. I would be
Yeah,
a little annoyed,
The
with
other
that.
sad part of it all is, sports have become so corporate and they've priced out the normal family from
yeah,
even going to a game. Like,
Yeah,
coming up, with my parents would take me and my brother to probably, maybe one or two games a year. In the NFL, one or two games a year in the NBA. But now, if you're talking about a family of four, uh, that is a expensive ticket trying to take a
oh
family
yeah.
out to a game. And so that's why you would say, okay, well, instead of going to a game, maybe you have a watch party and watch a game. But now
Hmm.
you got to buy all these different services. So, so that's
You're like
just
it costs just as much.
exactly. I might as well just try and go to the game.
I
right.
know, I know. Last year I took my son. So we live in Seattle, but he's the biggest Miami Dolphins fan you will find. And the Dolphins played the Seahawks, and I couldn't believe how much we spent on those tickets. He was like, can we go again next time they play? No, sir. This is a one time. This is a one-time thing. No, but I'm kidding. But I also was thinking like the good thing about the streaming services is for folks like you, Jesse, who like have, your team is the Eagles. So it makes
Yeah,
it easier to watch the games, right? Because like, back in the day, if you weren't the only games that were playing was going to be the one big national game, and then your local game
no thing.
would be, on TV. So I guess I see the benefit there, but yeah, I'm with you, Anthony. I think our household has every single streaming service. And then I think I saw a graphic that said how much it actually costs to
Oh, I
have
want to think
all of them. And I was like, oh, we have places we can make cuts, especially if we're about to head into a recession. Oh boy, what are we going to do?
Man,
about
I was like, that's gonna be a hard conversation in my house.
it.
catch the highlights on YouTube if that's
Mhm.
the scenario. Like,
Okay,
yeah, the
I
NFL, Twitter or something. They'll show ESPN. They'll show you the highlights.
see what you need to see. That's all
Yep.
I need to know. What do I need to know that happened?
Right.
Mhm.
All right. Shador Sanders. So I know he suffered an injury this past week, but he's been making some waves. So walk me through it. What's going on with Shador?
I'm so torn by it, because like he played great that first game. It was the most watched preseason game ever. You know, unfortunately, he's playing with backups against other backups. So so he's had some good throws. So, but it's always that overcorrection, right? So
Yeah.
he had a solid performance, but if you're not pro Shador, then people are gonna say that, oh, it's just preseason. He didn't do all of that. Well, if you're for Shador, then sometimes you get people that go over and say, "Oh, he need to start game one." So it's always funny that back and forth. And then
Mhm.
when Dylan Gabriel started the second game, like he came out hot at first, so then it was gonna be like, and he was playing against the Eagles backup, so it was gonna be like, you know what, he's just as good as Shador, but and then he had a couple of turnovers, so that made people start
Mhm.
saying, well, maybe he's not as good, but it's just I think Shador definitely deserves an opportunity. Who knows how long Joe Flacco is going to last. Obviously, he's not the quarterback of the future. So the Browns aren't
Mhm.
going anywhere. They're not even going to the playoffs. So I don't understand why they wouldn't just go with Shador and kind of see where it goes as opposed to wasting time with an older quarterback who will be retired, in the next 6 months or so.
My thing is, I mean, I've never seen a player have to go through so much scrutiny just to,
Yeah.
he is a backup. He's going and doing his job, but it's like, I mean, like, damn. I mean, no other player you look at, I mean, in this draft is going through what he's going through. He can go out and have that performance. They'll still pick it apart. Well, he did. But they don't do that for the other quarterbacks. They go out and have a great one. Oh, he's great. He's going to be a star. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. I mean, let it
I
play
don't.
out. My thing is,
Yeah.
I just hope he gets the chance. I hope they don't shelve him. I hope he gets the chance to go out and prove. And I mean, if he doesn't, then okay, he got the chance. But like you said, Cleveland ain't don't seem like they're going anywhere. I mean, teams can surprise as things happen in the NFL, but I just hope he gets a fair chance to go out there and show. And the fans are behind him. I mean, look how many tuned into the game. Look at the jersey
Exactly.
sales. So
You would have
if
thought that was a
anything,
home game. Like
yeah,
you didn't even
Right.
realize he wasn't even playing in Cleveland, and you had all those
right.
Shador jerseys in the stands.
Right. So,
Exactly.
I
It's
mean,
called the
give him
prime
a credit.
tax.
I love what he did. I love what he did. He went out there and he did what he's supposed to do, whether it's a
Yep.
preseason or not.
Yep.
You go out there and he did what he's supposed to do. So I just hope he continues to get the chance. And like you said, Flacco, veteran in place. He's more so at this point to fill in gaps when you need to. But like you said, he's not the long term future. So hopefully he gets that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do. Like I just said, I think it's the prime tax, right? That's what it is. It's Coach Prime tax because
Yeah.
if that wasn't his, if that wasn't his dad, they wouldn't care because he's out there proving himself.
Mhm.
And I do question though, if we're going to be slightly unbiased, is it there's other folks who came out of the draft. They're just also not getting the same media attention that he's going to get, right? Just simply because of who his dad is, right? So I
Yeah,
don't know.
and
I
it's
I,
and it's
I think.
sport. I mean, it's sports. Somebody's always going to get the media attention.
Oh, of
Somebody
course, of
always
course.
going to. I mean, it sells. Trust me. As much
Hmm.
as some people are against, the league loves it. I mean,
Oh,
anything that's
brings
going to
in
bring more
money.
attention and more things, that they're gonna love it. But so it's going to always be someone. If it's not him, it's going to be another player. Next year, it's going to be another one. So I
Yep.
love it. I mean, at least we're not talking about Kansas City and everything, right?
Oh, I know.
I'm
Tired of
tired
we
of
all
them.
tired. We all tired of Kansas. Okay.
So it's like, because this year, I'll put it on record right now. I'm saying Baltimore Ravens are going to win. I'm saying
Okay.
Lamar
You say
Jackson will be
Baltimore.
holding the trophy up there. That's what I'm saying this year. So I'm up there. Philly, y'all had y'all. I see you, Desi, but this year's the Ravens year. I'm putting it on record right now.
Jesse, no response.
I'm like, good luck. He got to get to the AFC Championship first. I
I
don't
know,
even know
I
he's
know.
playing in the AFC Championship. So
I'm saying I'm putting on this year. This is the year.
okay, got it, got it.
Mhm.
I hope so. Um, just not Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is a little overrated to me, but just not
I'm
Joe
just
Burrow.
trying to get my I'm just trying to get my Seahawks back to the playoffs, back to the, our glory days. That's it.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up with a quick game. So we're all products of the 90s because the 90s I think were is the best decade. There was so much happening, so much just transformative culture. But we're gonna talk about the snacks of the 90s. So our little game is hate it or love it. I will pop up a snack, and you all will tell me if you hate it or love it. And I guess, or if you didn't try it, you can say that too. So I'm going to start with. Butterfinger BBs, hate it or love it.
That was all right. That was okay.
Were those the little nuggets? Like, were
Yeah,
those
Uh-huh.
the BBs?
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
That was
I like
okay.
Butterfinger.
You'd
Bart
rather have
Simpson
the
made me like
Butterfinger.
a Butterfinger, but
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
I'll
I
pass.
actually I liked the Butterfinger BBs. I actually didn't like the Butterfingers. Like the Butterfingers felt like too much. The BBs
At
were
one
like just
time.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, the BBs were okay.
They
And you
are.
bite into it and it crumbles everywhere. I didn't like the way it just crumbled everywhere and
Yeah,
all that.
it's a mess,
Yeah,
hot mess, absolute mess. All right, next up, Squeeze Its.
On a cold day, hot Texas.
yeah,
Well, a hot day, a cold drink. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I mess with the
yeah.
squeezes.
I'll take it. You
Okay,
need about four of them, but
yeah. I used to get real excited when my mom would give me those for my lunch. I was like, I felt like I was somebody that day.
Twist off the little
Oh, the
cap.
little thing, little cap. But then,
Yeah.
like, if you don't finish it, there is no way to close it. It's just open.
right.
So,
If you didn't finish it, you wasn't thirsty.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. All right. So this is maybe a niche one, and I only remember it because I don't know if y'all parents were like this, but my mom always had some sort of diet food that was like a junk food, but it was a diet food or it was fat free. And so there was the snack whales. Did anybody ever try the snack whales?
I remember the snack wells, but if you go have something bad, don't cut it.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
right,
it wasn't in mine. Mm-mm.
This ain't blue magic. Don't cut it.
right. That's a fact. No, so snack whales, just a quick story of so because it's funny. Snack whales, we used to have those. They're fat free cookie. They taste terrible. Like they taste like you would imagine a fat free cookie would. But they also used to make reduced fat Oreos. And my
Mm.
mom would buy reduced fat Oreos. Do you know that until I went to college, I had never had a real Oreo because I thought I was like, oh, they're not very good. They don't taste very good. They taste terrible. And then I tried Oreos in college and I was like, y'all, what have I been missing?
Right.
Right.
So, uh, funny things about the 90s, all the fat-free stuff, which highly processed, not good for you.
Oh,
Just
not
eat
at
it.
all.
If you're just gonna eat it, just eat it. That's my
Right.
thing. All right, okay, push-ups, the push-up pops.
Man, loved them.
Hmm.
Loved them. The
Hmm.
orange with the
That
little red
orange
Flintstone.
Oh yeah.
sherbet one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Yeah,
every
for
now and
sure.
then you find like the blue one or the purple one or the green one. Uh,
Hmm.
Sometimes they were hard though. Sometimes you couldn't push
yeah.
them. Push them.
Put it
Yeah.
all. I know it
Yeah.
was.
You gotta rip all the paper off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get it down. Yep.
But yeah. But they were delicious.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh yes. All right. Last one. The Philadelphia snack bars, the strawberry cheesecake.
That was for the you drink wine with your pinky in the air. That was a
Yes.
little,
That was an elite snack.
yeah.
Yeah, I have those.
I didn't
Yeah.
have them either. I didn't have them either, but I remember the commercials. I remember
Yeah.
because it looked like this like
Right.
velvety, amazing thing, and I was like, "Who's gonna buy it?" Because nobody in my house gonna buy it. But
Uh, no. Yeah, we were outpriced there.
oh yes, oh yes. Okay, last one for good measure. What was your go-to ice cream bar that you would get from the ice cream truck?
I'm,
Oh,
I'll start. Mine is probably the most underrated, but most consistent was ice cream sandwich. And
Oh,
even if it was like the Neapolitan, I would go with it. I mean, it's always consistent. You're not going to go
it's
wrong. You know what you're
it
going
is
to get.
solid.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's delicious. You can't. It's the most underrated treat.
You
Mine
know
was
what?
mine
Go
was a
ahead.
Pink Panther little bar with the gumball eyes. They all
Oh
taste the
yes.
either Pink Panther or a Ninja Turtle, or
Hmm.
now they may have like the SpongeBob ones or something
Mhm.
Yep.
around. But any of those like that, that was my go-to for sure.
Yep. Because then you have like another treat at the
Yep,
end. You're like, okay, so I
There you
finished.
go.
You got two for one. That was a
yep.
good one.
Right.
Mine till this day is the strawberry shortcake. Like nobody can tell me that the strawberry shortcake isn't the best, the best thing from the ice cream truck.
I didn't like the little stuff on the outside of it. Like the
Oh,
flavor
I
was good on
loved it.
the inside, but yeah, it had like a little texture. It was a weird kind of texture to me.
Hmm. crazy texture, and I love every bit of it. All right. Well, we'll be back next week with more discussions related to culture, politics, sports, and everything in between. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and comment and let us know what's going on in your group chat. Have a good one.